After World War II, California and San Francisco experienced an influx of Basque immigrants due to poor economic conditions in Europe. As a result, in San Francisco, many Basque hotels and Basque houses came to be and were concentrated in the Broadway North Beach neighborhoods. Some included the Pyrenees Hotel, Obrero Hotel, Hotel de España, and Hotel de France. These Basque immigrants joined existing French and Spanish clubs such as Les Jardiniers, Union Española, and Les Chasseurs. Although Basques successfully assimilated in these French and Spanish clubs, an event occurred in the spring of 1960 that would ignite a movement to create a Basque club in San Francisco. The performance of two renowned bertsolaris, Salvador and Machin, was cut short at Les Jardiniers' annual picnic. This disappointed and angered some of the Basques, who later met at the Hotel de France and began discussing the possibility of creating a Basque club. The leader of this group was the proprietor of Hotel de France, Claude Berrouet, who was vehemently committed to the creation of this club. Although some doubted the group's ability to organize a club, they quickly aligned themselves and began soliciting memberships. By the fall, the club had over 100 members, and its first banquet was held at Hotel de France in October of 1960. In November, the club was officially incorporated as the Basque Club of California, Inc., with Claude Berrouet and Michel Ardouin as president and vice president. Just 4 months after its incorporation, the Basque Club held its annual banquet ball at the San Francisco Athletic Club. Although Basque folkloric dances were already being performed in some of the French clubs, Claude Berrouet insisted that the newly formed Basque Club start its own dance group, appropriately named Saspiakbat. Juan Telechea was the director of the group and was assisted by Michel Oyarzabal and Christine Maisonnave. The dance group also sang as a choir between dances and were directed by Father Tomei. The club's first picnic was held on June 4th, 1961, at the Sunnyview Family Club grounds in Mountain View, and was attended by 1,500. The Saspiakbat dance group made their debut, which led to performances across California and Nevada. The dance group quickly gained popularity and notoriety and were regularly invited to perform at the annual Bastille Day celebration held by La Colonie Française. This event was always well attended, and audiences were entertained by the San Francisco Municipal Band and the Saspiakbat dance group. This tradition continued until the band shell was damaged in the Loma Prieta earthquake. Several years later, young accordionist Jim Echepar and chistularis Juan Jose and Carmelo San Mames and Abel Bolumburu provided live music for the increasingly popular Saspiakbat dance group. Pierre Echeren began teaching the children's dance group in 1962 and eventually succeeded Juan Telechea as the group's director. Pierre Ereka organized the first Basque Club Moose tournament in 1963, which has become one of the club's more popular events. In 1964, the club took advantage of the experienced musicians in their membership and formed the Saspiakbat Clica. Frederick Fulden was responsible for buying instruments, and Alphonse Acheritogaray took on the direction of the Clica. They made their debut performance on June 7, 1964, at the annual Basque Picnic. Later that same year, they performed alongside with the Saspiakbat dancers at both Wool Growers Picnic in Bakersfield and the first Elko Basque Picnic. On October 11, 1964, they marched in the Columbus Day Parade and introduced San Francisco to a small taste of Basque culture. Also, in 1964, the San Francisco Basque Club assisted in the creation of the Los Banos Basque Club. Since then, these sister clubs have participated in each other's annual picnics. In 1966, Frederick Fulden organized the club's first annual Pelota tournament that was held in nearby Stockton. In the following years, the tournament was held at Helen Wills Playground, which was conveniently located just outside the west side of the Broadway Tunnel. In 1971, the fronton was refurbished so that it could be used for an international tournament that was held later in September. Because of Pelota's popularity, Helen Wills Playground became a regular Basque Club meeting place. In 1978, the San Francisco Pelota players participated in their first international tournament. In 1979, the bowling alley, whose exterior eastern wall served as the fronton, was demolished for the construction of an apartment building. This event sparked the creation of the Basque Cultural Center. During this time, the Basque Club bylaws were revised to include women. Through much of the 1970s, the Basque Club continued to organize its regular activities. In '79, however, the Basque Club took on several ambitious projects which included the Nabo Music Camp, the first International Moose Tournament, and the Nabo Convention at Fort Mason. In the later half of 1979, the Basque community took advantage of a visit by Machin Subieta, director of the choir Oldara, based in Bayonne, Biarritz. With his help, the choir El Garekin was founded, holding its first practices in the home of Jean Leon and Bernadette Iribarren. The club's annual Basque Picnic continues to be its most popular event, showcasing the Saspiac dancers and Klika, along with the El Garekin choir. For nearly 40 years, each June, generations of Basque families and friends gather to share and sustain their heritage. This day is celebrated by a Basque Mass, family-style barbecue, and lots of song, dance, and ishkwara. To see so many attend the Basque Picnic each year reminds us that the passion for our heritage is what sets our culture apart.